Okay, so we're going to look at the last section of Indiana Jones and Last Crusade, and then tomorrow, which would be Tuesday, we're finally going to look at Gaston Leroux. Feels like a legend, I know, a legend, a myth, that kind of thing. But I lost my notes, and now I just got to make sure and then I found them, and I just got to make sure that everything is there. So that's why we're looking at this first, because I know that I said that the Gaston Leroux video would be first. I move things on myself and hide things on myself, and that's what happens. More than you know. So, but we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna look at the last section of the video game Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. If you remember with the last section, that was they left Brunwald Castle. So this is a section where they go into Berlin. Okay, so let's go ahead and look into it, shall we? Hold it, you've got to come over here. I need to see your authorization. My authorization? You insult me. Insult or not, you must have clearance. You talk that way to a senior officer? You're not in uniform. I'm operating undercover. It's classified. Classified? A secret mission? Did they give you credentials? It's top secret. I have no ID. No kidding. Okay, you just like that. Oh dear. Fraulein Doctor. Indy. Where is it at? Ah, the Grail Diary. You came back for the book. Oops. Okay, you offer the pass. Phew. Where did you get it? Okay, so eh, here, um, it if memory serves, because again, I used a walkthrough. I know it's been a while since we looked at this. I did use a walkthrough, and also, if you use certain selections, like in Fate of Atlantis, if you use certain selections, it's not going to really hurt anything unless it gets to a certain point. Like, let's see, what's a perfect example? Well, like in the Fist Path, when you are up against Arnold, if you use a certain selection, yeah, that's going to be game over. But in a lot of other cases, you may agitate a character and then you're just gonna kind of word it around again. You're gonna have to do it all over again, like with Trottier. But in this case, you would have to do it all over again. I mean, th this was annoying because like at the points, like at where he was talking about ID and everything, if you don't say the right things, you're going to end up back at Broomville Castle. Yeah, not fun. So you have to be very careful. That was one thing that several of these um, things said that things that the walkthroughs talked about with this. And obviously, LucasArts learned from this game that you you can have kind of a wrong selection and then go back. That's why with like Trottier, uh, try it again, you know? And then there are those selections that it's obvious game over, like with Arnold. Um, but yeah, it, and I may have touched on this when we looked at Broomwald Castle, because oh my gosh. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is again, you pick up way back in New York, you pick up the fake journal, but you haven't used it yet. It seems to me that you can use it here, but there's a reason why you use the pass instead. And we'll get to that because I'm sure that there's people that are like, "Well, why didn't you use the book like in the movie?" Um Yeah, why didn't you? Because I was thinking that too. When I was reading the walkthrough, I was like, well, wait a minute. Why the hell didn't you use the book? Why did we pick that thing up? Why not? By the way, the skeleton mug is back. I was so excited to pull it out because it's spooky season. So, yep, every October, the skeleton mug comes back. I think it's been 3 years now. We bring it out. But so yeah, so keep that in mind. And again, I will have everything blocked out. I couldn't do that with the last one because of that. But when I go into editing, I will have certain things blocked out. So I just realized that while watching this. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, I got it. Wonderful. Now, let's go to the airport. This is the part where you have to be both him and his dad. Excuse me, what do you want? I don't have all day, you know. Tell me about your grandchildren. Oh, yes, my grandchildren. Then there, and he starts naming off. Got him. You got what? Uh, just a fly. I caught a fly. You caught a fly? Okay, so I thought that this was going to show. Obviously, I didn't save where I went into the biplane, but you can see clearly see the biplane right there. Um, the biplane, you do end up flying it in both ways. Okay, so if you remember in the library, you picked up a book that says how to fly a biplane. Okay, now, and I wish I had kept it in just the section. Just go ahead and put it here and then whatever. But I obviously didn't do that. Okay, so you can go into that biplane and try to go ahead and fly the biplane using that book. I had a Dickens of a time. Here's the thing is if you look, okay, there are two mechanics there. They are right next. I will try to circle where they are, okay, in editing or whatever. And so there are people standing there. And if you're not quick enough, Henry Jones Sr. will say, hurry up, so you get kind of frazzled. I was getting super frazzled because I was doing everything that the walkthrough was telling me. I was trying to click, 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 and it wasn't doing anything. It was just standing there. And I got kicked off the biplane and by the mechanics, and I couldn't get back on. So it's like you get one chance and that's it. At least for me, that's what happened. Okay. Uh, pain in the butt for me. So, but part number, the other way to do it is what we're going to see next. Okay. So I just wanted to point out that there is that way where you go to the biplane that's sitting right there and you use the book. Okay. Yeah. This particular LucasArts game, it's all kinds of different puzzles, be it this kind of a thing. Broomville Castle showed all kinds of different, going up and down, and everything. And it's a beast. It's an absolute beast. And then all these different, you know, whether or not you will be, whichever way you do it, you will be on the biplane. Okay. Just know that. So I just want to make that clear. All right. So let's see. But if you do it that way with the book, if memory serves, you do not end up on the blimp. Yeah, it seems like you cut out the blimp part. So you get to see the blimp part. Oh, and that sound that you're hearing is the blimp turning on. Yeah. Tickets, please. May I have your tickets? Take these tickets. Thank you, and enjoy your trip. So just Henry goes. Indy doesn't go with him. At that moment, back at the castle, that poor dog. Sir, yes, what do you want? We have reports that the Jones boys have boarded a Zeppelin leaving Germany. So, radio to have it turned around at once. Yes, sir. Use coins in bowl. Here's some money. Thank you. What would you like to hear? Can you play Adel? Let's see. Their overture von. No, but I'm sure you'll like this little ditty. He just leaves his post. Get out of there. He's gonna come back. I think this time it was Edelweiss. I could, but I'll play this one instead. And the guy comes back. use wrench, vandal. That ought to take care of it. Is he coming back? Yeah, he came back. Someone vandalized my radio. I better fix it as fast as I can. I just thought of something. I didn't think about it while I was playing it, but in the movie, uh, doesn't he say while they're running to get to the biplane that's underneath, uh, once, okay, because he discovers that they're turning the blimp around, and then the next scene, Indy and his dad are running across to get into the biplane. And the thing that Indy says is, I didn't think it would take him that long to figure out that the radio wasn't working or something to that effect. He says something about the radio. So that that little scene where he destroys the radio would have to be about, I didn't think about that until just now. 'Cause I was playing this and I was like, what? Why are we taking this long? Why this puzzle? What does this have to do with anything? And I would think that the guy, you know, my thinking would be that the radio guy, seeing that Indy's standing there, his first thought would be like, well, that guy vandalized my radio because there's nobody else there. Everybody else is out where the piano is. But no, that makes sense to the movie. By the way, the when he got the signature, when he saw uh Fraulein Doctor uh at the little rally thing or whatever. I don't want to say exactly what it is because I think we know what it is. But where he was coming back for the book, uh in the movie, Indy was dressed like a soldier, but he's not in here. He would have stood out. You could have at least, because in Brunwald Castle he we had to go back and forth wearing a gray and then a green one. What's going on? Okay. So the next part is going to show how we get to the biplane while in the blimp. Okay. So here we go. Sorry about that. I just hit the mic. I got so tired of this sound effect, by the way. Because I actually had to do this about, I think I said about 3 or 4 times. Now, this is the one that I didn't run into anybody. I'm pretty sure this is one where I didn't run into any of the soldiers. Although you see soldiers, yeah, you can see one where he's starting to follow. And oh my gosh, this sound effect. is a lot like when you're in the yeah, this is a lot like the catacombs. I mean, it was like they just repeated something. But I mean, I get it. He's supposed to be on a grate and but yeah, that sound effect is annoying. At least with when he's in the catacombs, it's just kind of a dun 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 dun. This one is a lot more annoying. And I played it 4 different times because I kept running into those guys. And if you got knocked out, you had to go way back to the beginning. And it was like, no. And it wasn't like the beginning, because again, you're going on different levels, as you can see. And it's not like you start at the beginning of that particular level. No, you started way back at the beginning. It's like, really? Oh, merciful heavens. There it is. Is this the one where he got stuck? Because there was one time where I fought and he got stuck when he kept moving back. Oh, it may have been. Yeah, I'm not very good with the I'm so used to the sucker punch. No, he didn't get stuck there, but how'd you get here before me? Don't ask. I didn't know you could fly a plane. Fly, yes. Land, no. Now here I got confused on exactly what to do. Then that's why it's sitting there for a little bit. It's like, okay, now what? We're hit. They got us. We're going down. Oh no. Okay. You know, here's the thing. So again, this was released in like 89, and you look at this part right here, and the next Indiana Jones game is in 1992. Now, uh, Secret of Monkey Island was released in 1990. I mean, the graphics were actually well done. I mean, we talked about well, where was it? In the catacombs, that one, for the night. the resting knight. That's probably the best part of the whole thing. But for it being a plane crash or whatever, but there are sections of this that are actually that are actually amazing, you know. Um, and again, I mean, for it being a plane crash, it's actually nice. It's more polished up than some of the rest of it for it being a 1989 game. I the playthrough is not so nice, but and yeah, I have to give it credit for that. And yeah, I mean when you look through at some of the and especially uh the Donovan's apartment and some other places there. Um yeah, just go through on some of the areas of and the graphics are nice. I like this one simply because of how polished it is. And um and then of course everybody looks at the resting knight. Um I'm looking at the letters here. Is that what was used for DEKU? Was that what was used in Raiders? I'll have to look. I'll look at that and then but anyway, we'll continue. Those poor animals. They seem okay. That's a terrible sound to use. Come on, let's go steal a car. Oh, it's for the duckies. Okay. Still not a good sound. Okay, so here's a checkpoint. Leave your vehicle and step over here. I need to see your authorization. Let's see, offer an item. Take this pass. Signed by you know who. You may go at once. That's why you wanted him to sign the pass and not the book. Please step out of that expensive looking car. I need to see your authorization. And again with the pass. You may go. Leave your vehicle and step over here. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna be fine. I mean, you could throw a punch if you wanted to, but I don't think that's gonna help. I think that'll be game over. It works for Biff in Fate of Atlantis. I don't think it works so well here. Okay. According to the map in your Grail diary, this works here. We are like heroes of the Arthurian legend. You are Galahad, the valiant knight, and I is Father Lancelot, who was turned away. He was found. Henry, Indy, it's good to see you again. Marcus, what are you doing here? And why are you all dirty? Don't ask. Marcus, my old friend, where have you been? Okay. Like, you know what's missing? Sala. S- Sala isn't in this. I mean, I know that there's only so much that you can put into a video game. I get that. And a lot of times, video games that are based off of movies, they don't have everything. Okay. One of the things that I think is so hilarious about these Lord of the Rings games, it's like they think that every single Lord of the Rings game is based off of the movies by Peter Jackson. You do know that the books came first, right? In fact, recently I bought this Titanic Adventures video game, and that was actually put out before the movie. I think that was a year before the movie came out, uh, uh, James Cameron's movie. And, it's hilarious that people seem to think that all these Titanic video games are based off of James Cameron. And it's like, no, no, sweet summer children. No, there were video games in the 80s that were put out before Titanic was found by Bob Ballard. Okay. Yeah. In fact, I actually looked before I bought the Titanic video game, and I was actually surprised that there was one put out a year before. So it was like they were trying to find the actual location. It's funny to look at some of those video games and but but yeah, I don't think that there's one that's based off of the movie for Titanic. I think because Titanic Adventure came out, and that's a murder mystery type. Yeah, I think because that one came out a year before James Cameron's movie came out, they just decided not to do that. But again, I don't follow everything about that. And then, of course, there was the one that we looked at, which was, uh, oh shoot, Douglas Adams. So, because of Douglas Adams, Starship Titanic coming out around that time as well, yeah, I can see where they decided not to do a video game, but they had all that other stuff. They had the jewelry, they had the dolls. I remember the dolls, and yeah, they made enough bank on all that other stuff. But in this case, they hardly had Elsa, and I remember talking about that with the other sections that we talked about, but they don't have Sala, and I'm and they're trying to do this running gag of people showing up and saying, "Don't ask." I'm gonna be honest here. That would be it would be funnier if it was kind of a running joke in the movie, but it's not. You know? Yeah. It's, I mean, me personally, it kind of fell flat, but that's me. Okay, let's see where we're going with this. Okay, so those two are talking, and Indy decides to go in the temple. Hey, you two, every moment counts. Well, that's gruesome. Yeah, this is the place. Okay. I was trying to be really careful because I didn't want to just die right there. Ah, Indiana Jones, you're just in time. It seems I have run out of volunteers. Donovan, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that could convince me to get the Grail for your purposes. Except that, maybe. He said that. I thought you'd see it my way. The only thing that can save your father now is the healing power of the Grail. I suggest you hurry, Dr. Jones. Junior, remember my diary, the three trials. Hang on, Dad. I'll be back as fast as I can. Okay. Um, this is why I miss Sala. Because also, um, I get that they're trying to do comic relief and everything. Yeah, there was quite a bit of that uh in Last Crusade and everything, but especially when they enter that temple and they're trying to be quiet and they're caught and that guy holds the gun and he does this and Marcus goes like he goes, uh that's how Marcus is probably one of the best in an adventure movie. Look, in in The Mummy, I don't know which one I like best because I like Benny and I like Jonathan. They are it's usually you don't have two comic reliefs, but they balance out so well. Now, in Indiana Jones, you have Marcus, who is not in Raiders, he wasn't there enough, but then in Last Crusade, he ended up being part of it. And you have one of the best cutaways because he's like, Marcus will blend in, disappear, you'll never see him again. And then I was, does anybody here speak ancient Greek? Does anybody here speak English? Does anyone understand a word I'm saying? That has always been my favorite. I love Marcus. I absolutely love Marcus. And a lot of the stuff that he is, and also, and then we'll keep going. When they think that Indy has died, he's gone over the cliff. And then he's Indy shows up and he looks over and he's like, yeah. Oh, oh man. And Henry is hugging him and he's like, I thought I lost you and everything. And then you see Marcus and he's like, he's trying to piece it together. Like, how did this happen? I love Marcus. Marcus is so adorable. Maybe that's why the don't ask thing in this game is not cutting it for me because of how Marcus is in the movie. That's not who he is. It doesn't work. But I understand what they're doing. Okay, you can't fit everything that's in because of what this is. I mean, like games now, you can do that because they have more storage and bandwidth and all of that stuff. Games back then in 1989, you couldn't do that. You had to uh cut uh for the storage and all of that. I get that and everything. So I get what they were doing. It's not cutting it for me because of who Marcus is. Yeah, because when you look at like the Pirates of the Caribbean games and like I said, Lord of the Rings games and all those games, and I mean, shoot, even in the 90s when they had the Titanic game, that particular Titanic game and everything. Yeah, because in the Titanic game, they were putting in the video stuff in there. Yeah, so I get that. I get what they were doing and cutting for all of that. But for who Marcus was in the movie, this just isn't doing it for me. I might be the only one that feels that way, and that's fine. All right, let's keep going. Only the penitent man will pass. Neil, I'm through. You didn't tie that off. Is Yeah, it tells you a couple of times, I think, how to do it. I actually had to write it down. Yeah, it'll keep telling you. He didn't put any. I knew you would come. Who are you? And it basically says the same thing in the 700 years ago. The honor of guarding the Grail is yours. My father is wounded. I've got to find the Grail or he'll die. I see your intentions are pure. So the picture thing that was in Brunwald Castle helps you here somehow, some way. Yeah. I better make sure this is the right one. It can't pass beyond the Great Seal. That is the price of immortality. Okay. So, like I was saying, the painting. Okay, remember that whole thing with the painting and everything? He goes into that room that has the Grail painting and all that, and you look at it and all that. That comes into play there. Okay. Yeah, fun stuff. But it's a LucasArts game. What do you expect? So when it shows the picture of Indy, like it did after he drinks, if um if it turns old and whatever, yeah, if the picture changes from what you just saw, then you chose poorly, basically. Yeah, because in the four different times that I played, that happened once. And it's a little spooky. It's like, wait, you're pulling a Donovan over here. That's not supposed to happen to Indy. And but it's part of the game. Anyway, let's continue. What happened to Donovan? And don't say don't ask. He was so eager to follow you, he just lost his head. Oh, geez. You don't want to hear that on skin. Why did it sound like an alien sound? They didn't choose the right sounds. You did it, Junior. No, Dad, you did it. I just followed your diary. And the third brother still, yes, even after 7 centuries. Then it does grant immortality. My quest is at an end. Its destiny is in your hands. Marcus, my old friend, I haven't thanked you yet. Remember the price of immortality. Grail cannot pass beyond the Great Seal. Elsa, no. The Grail, it can be our. She's gonna do it. I don't believe it. I won't. Oh, now you done it. Nice going, Elsa. Oh, good heavens. Why didn't he do that in the movie? I give you my thanks. I fear I have Herculean. No, where was that broom? Okay. Seriously, why didn't he do that in the movie? Why did he take his. Okay. That was a Justin Noble. Don't call me Junior. What is all this Junior talk? That's his name. Okay, yeah, it's the dialogue from the movie. Come to think of it, my father had a cat named Marcus. Follow me, I know the way. No, that's not the way. Oh, not bad. Oh, goodness. So that's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You never use, as from what I gathered of all of this from the walkthrough that I did, you never use that fake Grail diary. I mean, I guess you can use it to have uh that one bad guy, German bad guy, sign it. But from what I was reading, if you have him sign it, then you end up back in Berlin, and yeah, the checkpoint guys are just going to be like, wait a minute, we've been looking for that. Oh my gosh. Oh, good heavens. But, for the first Indiana Jones game, yes, it's a pain in the butt to get through. Uh some of the puzzles are terrible, are absolutely terrible. But the next year, in 1990, we get Secret of Monkey Island. Okay. I'm going to say this about LucasArts is that their puzzles are hard and challenging. This was just annoying. This is downright annoying. I think the hardest one, and I've said it before, the most annoying is that monkey wrench in the second Monkey Island, which is LeChuck's Revenge or whatever it's called, Monkey Island 2. And from what I gather, that monkey wrench puzzle in other countries does not translate very well. So people are trying to get to it, and because of the translation, they have fits. Well, here in America, we have fits too. So it's a frustration all around, okay? But, but by the time in 1992, by the time we got Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, yeah, the puzzles were still challenging. Um, but at least when you chose certain things, it wasn't going to be immediate game over. I was getting that, and I'm sure that other people who have looked at this have said the same thing. It was like if you chose something, you had to choose it right, or it was going to immediately be game over. There were a few games during this time that was like that. I remember that. There were some Nintendo games that were like that. There were some others. So it wasn't just LucasArts. It was all over the board that if you chose the wrong thing, it was going to be game over. So fortunately, it's not like that anymore. But but anyway, so this is Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. I had fun. I I should do this for other games. I will leave it up to you what game I look at next. So, but anyway, I will close up here.